going to ask Miss Yolanda for a roll call.
Bernadette, we're good? Yeah. Okay. Mayor Cantrell,
Present?
Councilmember King, Director Pacho,
Here.
Director Duplessis, Director Kennedy,
Here.
Director Cole,
Here.
Director Howard, Director Antrup,
Here.
Director Thomas. Here. Director Scruggs.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Prior to getting started, I really just wanted to make some opening comments, as I do most often, and I'm not going to steal your thunder, Randy, but I have to say, you know, getting at 90% of our smart meter installation, just kudos to the hardworking men and women of the Sewage and Water Board, the team, and the partnerships is really getting it done. And we know that it's new tools in terms of our process improvements and the like, noticeable difference even in customer satisfaction. You got to own progress every step. It all matters. But it's more than just new equipment. It really is a step towards accountability, transparency, and just empowering our residents to have accuracy, right? And trusting us, trusting this utility, and most importantly, the services that they receive. Also, the power complex, huge. So I know that there is a ribbon cutting, get me straight, scheduled for November 13th.
Yeah.
I love that, and that's prior to even the public vote on the bond millage, as we're asking for people to support that. We know that it's a game changer relative to infrastructure. It's that but-for resources that allow us to go deeper, go longer. And so I'm looking forward to that. But hard work, fair share, all working together. I'm excited. Also, as it relates to the green infrastructure, continuing to make progress there. But I love how we're focusing on kind of like empowering residents to just expand how they can improve themselves and around their property on their own. So whether it's, green infrastructure kits and even tools for barrels and holding water, but it's working and the momentum is real. The water quality master plan we completed this quarter, huge, because again, that sets the tone where we are, but where we need to go as a utility and as a city. And so also, Randy, I'm not stealing it, but I'm proud of you, proud of the team. You hosted the Commissioner of Insurance. And I'm told that blown away, you can't make it up nor deny it when you're front and center with the investments and the improvements that we have in our city. And then especially if you have some sense of what municipalities across the country are grappling with, but the work that we're doing here that's advancing it in this country. So I'm just excited. I'm gonna be quiet, turn it over. No, I need a motion to approve the minutes from our last board meeting, and I will entertain that motion.
So moved.
All right, it's been moved by Director Scruggs. We need a
Second.
seconded by Director Thomas. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we have officially adopted the minutes from our last meeting. Ms. Yolanda.
And now we'll have our committee reports. Our first committee report will be Strategy on Strategic Planning Committee report by Director Antrup, Chair.
Very good.
Good morning. The Strategy Committee met on Tuesday, October 7th, 2025, in the Executive Board meeting. The meeting convened at approximately 9 a.m. Present were myself as Chair, Janet Howard as Vice Chair, Director Cole, Director Thomas, and Director Scruggs. I don't have to read this entire thing, do I?
Well,
Wanda, do I have to read the entire thing?
Not the entire thing, but you can give us.
I'm gonna
highlights.
paraphrase.
Okay.
The first presentation item was our green infrastructure strategy by Jillian Croce of Environmental Affairs. Ms. Croce presented the committee with a comprehensive overview of the green infrastructure strategy as we had completed our 2014 green infrastructure plan, which dedicated $2.5 million towards our 10 demonstration projects. We're now seeking to initiate a new green infrastructure strategy that focuses on enhancing stormwater management and quality. They recommended 4 priorities. And the environmental team also shared its next steps and noted that the continued refinement of the new GI strategy will provide guidance and support for the development of stormwater fee credits. The committee noted that it's important to coordinate closely with the city's Office of Resilience and Sustainability and the staff agreed and shared that while there's no formal relationship with the office, SWPNO meets regularly with the ORS team, and the committee also requested the staff further develop the area of incorporating green infrastructure initiatives into the utilities capital improvement program. Our second presentation item was a water quality master plan update by Steve Nelson, our general superintendent. And he shared that the plan will be completed in Q4 of 2025, as the mayor indicated. Mr. Nelson shared that the plan includes an operational and risk-based analysis of systems and alternatives. He also discussed several short, medium, and long-term initiatives, including pilot projects and equipment replacements and upgrades, as well as the lab study of pipe loops for lead service lines was also discussed. He also explained the plan's next steps, including plan adoption, operational pilot implementation, and funding pursuits and initiatives for both year one projects and long-term updates. The committee discussed several issues, including ensuring that security is addressed in the plan, as well as supporting the idea of holding our board meeting at the Carrollton Water Plant when the plan is adopted, so that the board members can go on a tour of the purification facility afterwards and see what the plan is for what we would do to improve it. Again, the committee voiced support in using SWPNO's pipe loop study as a topic for potential scientific publication, as this is really important research being done here by our staff, and also suggested using this work as a community engagement and educational opportunity, possibly using a video that explains corrosion control and SWPNO's efforts to promote public health. Finally, we had a discussion item just looking at how we wanted to continue working as a committee, and so I reviewed the role of the committee, the scope of the committee's work, guided by the bylaws of the board, and suggested the development of a work plan for the committee and our frequency of meetings. I noted that the committee can really begin that discussion at our next meeting. We did notably have 2 public comments. I see that we have our folks here in the room again today who came and gave public comments, Ms. Angela Kinlow, who rarely commended the staff who were present at the Fall Garden Festival, and said that those who participated were engaged and well-informed, and was pleased to hear about our green infrastructure strategy, but did express opposition to a potential stormwater fee and raised questions about the budgets and financing of the board. And Mr. Jesse Perkins, who also commended the staff at the Fall Garden Festival, is a former SWPNO employee and shared comments about employee safety. And finally, there being no further business, Director Scruggs made a motion to adjourn, Director Howard seconded, and the motion carried. The meeting was adjourned at 10:15 a.m.
Thank you, Director Andrew. First of all, just great work that's worthy of putting again on the public record and at the board meeting. You did a great job, and even I love your focus on the work plan of the committee, but it underscored the green infrastructure piece, so thank you. We need a motion to approve.
I'll move.
Okay, Director Cole, we need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Director Pacho. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we've officially adopted our strategy committee report. Ms. Yolanda.
And now we have Finance Committee. Director Kennedy will read on behalf of Director Howard.
Thank you
our
very
co-chair.
much. Thank you, Director.
Thank you. The Finance and Administration Committee met on Wednesday, October 8th in the Executive Board meeting. Meeting convened at approximately 9:00 a.m. Present were Directors Howard, Pacho, Kennedy, and Scruggs. Gray Lewis, our CFO, presented the financial results and liquidity position for August 2025. He reported that the water and sewer revenues for August were slightly above budget. Drainage tax revenues were also slightly above the plan for fiscal year 2025 through August. However, monthly revenues for August were lower for water and sewer compared to July and preliminary September operating revenue. The decline in August revenue is attributed to a reduced number of total bills issued during the month. Mr. Lewis also provided an update on the restructuring of billing and meter reading field personnel related to smart metering. There continues to be a focus on approximately 4,500 customer accounts for which a meter reading could not be obtained in August. Staff expects a significant reduction in this number each month with the continued installation of smart meters, which is improving the overall billing experience for all 139,000 customers. Collections for the third quarter amounted to $60.8 million, which is below historical averages for this period and continues to be a key area of focus due to the number of past due customers. The Promise Pay campaign to waive late fees for new payment plans ended in September and resulted in enrolling 6,898 new customers, with 707 customers paying their outstanding bills in full. The overall enrollment rate is 64% of customers with a past due balance, and the team plans to promote Promise Pay further with the objective of raising participation to 90% over the next few quarters. Mr. Lewis indicated that the uncollected ratio, which compares billings to collections for the 12 months ending August of 2025, is at 4%, higher than the same period last year, which was 1.2%. The HGI customer credits awarded through the City Council's bill dispute resolution firm amounted to approximately $500,000 in August, which is significantly lower than the amounts in earlier months this year. Mr. Lewis also provided an update on the operating expenses for August, which totaled $34 million and exceeded the budget due to increases in pumping, power, and general plant maintenance expenses. However, there is a year-to-date favorable variance of $40 million to the budget, taking into account conservative estimates for direct operating costs, overhead costs, and non-cash depreciation charges. Management will continue to monitor trends and reevaluate potential areas of cash, O&M expenses that could be allocated to other needs within the capital improvement program. The budgeted debt service coverage ratios for 2025 are 1.68 for water and 1.85 for sewer, exceeding the minimum required ratio of 1.25. Based on current expenditures, these ratios are expected to be surpassed. As of August 31st of 2025, the days cash on hand for the water and sewer funds were 116 and 131 respectively, exceeding the required 90 days. Susanna Kirby, Chief of Customer Service, and Keith James, Customer Service Director, presented to the committee regarding recent customer call center metrics and initiatives aimed at enhancing the customer service experience. The committee asked for additional details on dropped call wait time, suggesting that this data should be included in the overall metrics of customer service responsiveness. Mr. James mentioned that they are in the process of obtaining the information from the software vendor and will provide further updates to the committee. Ms. Kirby also shared updates on customer service billing rules and regulations, which is in the draft form and being updated as a part of the smart metering project and other operational changes. The rules and regulations were last updated in 1994. She reported a goal of compiling various informational policies, which are on the website or found elsewhere in other published documents, into one comprehensive document for customers as well as management. She further reported on a few key changes, including meter tampering policy, customer deposits, and hydrant meters to reflect updated equipment cost and best practices. The updates ensure the utility is responsive to customer trends seen over the last several decades. Ms. Kirby asked the committee to provide feedback on the proposed changes, which can be incorporated into the next draft of the document for discussion purposes. Action items presented, R173-2025, the drainage millage rates. Director Pacho moved to accept. Director Kennedy seconded. Resolution R144, adoption of the amended restated Sewage and Water Board premium only plan. Director Kennedy moved, Director Pacho seconded. Stephen Nelson, our General Superintendent, presented his report. Mr. Nelson specifically discussed the change orders related to paving and the process involved in bidding. The committee members requested information demonstrating that the SWAPS projects offer a significant offset of costs. Excuse me. It was a resolution under the superintendent's report, resolution R145-2025, ratification of change order. Director Pacho moved to defer this ratification. Director Scruggs seconded. Then there were a number of change orders by ratification that were accepted. They were R131-2025, R140-2025, R141-2025, R146-2025, R147-2025, R148-2025. Director Kennedy moved to accept these change orders by ratification. Director Pacho seconded. Motion carried. There was one final acceptance, R150-2025. Director Scruggs moved to accept. Director Kennedy seconded. There being no further business to come before F&A, Director Kennedy made a motion to adjourn. Director Pacho accepted. The meeting was adjourned at approximately 9:50 a.m.
All right, thank you very much. Well, there's a lot of work happening there, and just kudos to our chief of customer service and our customer service director, both Susanna Kirby as well as Keith James. You know, there's a lot of, when you look at the data, it really tells a great story, meaning progress is happening. When you look at the number of new customers signing up for Promise Pay, that is an indicator in and of itself. When you look at the credits given by HGI, significantly lower, the lowest we've seen, that is an indicator of progress. So I'm looking forward to a dashboard of some, you know, at some point where we can not only see ourselves, but putting it for the customers to see, because you can't deny it, but we have to make ways to ensure that you can't deny it. Because people will deny it. But that's why, you know, we engage, and of course, you know, work is happening. With that, we need a motion to approve. So moved. It's been moved by Director Thomas. We need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Director Anthrop. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we've officially adopted our Finance Committee report, and we'll move to pension, is that right?
I'd like to note that Director Thomas is in attendance.
Absolutely. She's been rolling since she got here. Okay. Thank you.
And so now we're ready for the Pension Committee report. Director Kennedy, Chair.
Thank you. The Pension Committee met on Wednesday, October 8th in the boardroom. The meeting convened at approximately 9:56 a.m. Present were Directors Kennedy, Pacho, Trustee Joseph, Trustee Johnsey, Trustee Shine, Trustee Makbul. Absent were Director Anthrop, Councilmember King. There were a few presentation items. First was the Employees Retirement System Cost of Living Adjustment as of January 1st, 2025 by Mitchell Bilb of Rudd and Wisdom. Mr. Mitchell Bilb provided an update on the retiree system's cost of living as of January 1st. He shared an overview of the COLA under the governing rules and regulations. He also discussed how a COLA would be calculated under various scenarios, provided a history of COLA percentages from 2008 to present, and explained how a COLA would be applied as of January 1st, 2025 to various groups, including annuitants under the age of 65, drop annuitants at any age, and annuitants over age 65. Second presentation, the special COLA study performed by Rudd and Wisdom as previously requested by the committee. Mr. Bild provided an overview of general considerations for plan amendments and reviewed funded ratio considerations. Funded priorities should include fully funding the plan, ensuring all vested benefits are paid, and maintaining stability in contributions. The funding policy seeks to achieve a funded ratio of 100% within the next 25 years, while the current funded ratio stands at 71.2% as of January 1st, 2025, reflecting the financial health of the pension plan. Mr. Bill also discussed the purpose of a COLA and its relationship to post-retirement purchasing power, noting that SWBNO's plan helps preserve purchasing power, but is not meant to solely maintain purchasing power. Social Security and other personal savings and investments can help maintain post-retirement purchasing power. There were 5 components of the COLA study discussed. Number 1, a modification of the annual COLA cap. The current annual limit of 2% on COLA could be modified or increased. An assessment has been made regarding the effects of possibly raising the COLA cap to 4%. Number 2 was calculating COLA for disabled retirees under the age of 65. Number 3 was examining COLA for all retirees, including those under the age of 65. Number 4 examined removing the $10,000 restriction on eligible payment, the $10,000 cap on payment benefits under COLA. Number 5 would measure COLA under a nationwide measure for CPI. And so there was an examination of there was no local inflationary index, so the examination was to see what 1.1 of CPI would be. There was a third presentation provided by Kwaku Obed of Marquette and Associates. It was the executive summary report for the retirement plan. Mr. Obed of Marquette and Associates provided the update He discussed recent market fluctuations related to global tariff discussions and the effects of a trade war on the macroeconomy, including its implications for jobs, consumer spending, and interest rates. An update on the performance of the diversified composite strategy aimed at achieving long-term results for the plan was also shared. There was an action item, R171, 2025, to accept the cost of living adjustment as of January 1, 2025. Trustee Makbul moved to accept. Trustee Joseph second. The motion carried. There being no further business before the Pension Committee, Director Kennedy made the motion to adjourn. Trustee Makbul accepted the motion. Trustee Peychaud seconded, sorry. The motion carried and the meeting was adjourned at approximately 11:07 a.m.
Thank you very much. You're gonna be working overtime
I
because you
see.
got this next committee report as well. But right now, we need a motion to approve our pension committee report.
So move.
Mayor, we just like to know for the record that Director Scruggs, as well as Director Howard, were in attendance at the Pension Committee meeting.
Yes.
Wow.
I saw that. Right. Okay, very good. So we need a motion to approve. Moved by Director Peychaud. Seconded by Director Antrim. Any questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Right, so we've officially adopted our pension committee, and we'll move right in to our governance committee report, and we'll have our
Another round.
Director Kenny, yeah, you
Thank
know,
you.
this, bringing new life to this pro tem
Let's
role.
do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, thank you very much. The Governance Committee also met Wednesday, October 8th in the Executive Boardroom and convened at approximately 11:15 a.m. Present were Directors Kennedy, Howard, Thomas, and Scruggs. Absent was Director Cole. Non-members present, Director Peychaud. We had a presentation item by our Executive Director, Randy Heyman, around House Resolution 305 in the 2025 regular session. The Task Force on Southeast Louisiana Regional Water Purification Operations. Mr. Heyman provided an overview of House Resolution 305, which creates a task force to study the feasibility of building a water purification facility to serve Jefferson, Orleans, Plaquemine, St. Bernard, and St. Charles parishes. Mr. Heyman shared that the task force must provide a report with findings and recommendations regarding the operations and management of a regional water purification facility by March 15th of 2026. The task force is comprised of 12 members from the mentioned parishes. The committee discussed that a SWBNO representative is not included in the task force, although the utility is responsible for the city's water purification efforts. The task force held its first meeting on September 29th, 2025. Mr. Steve Nelson, our GSO, shared that he attended the meeting and provided the group with an overview of the utility's water purification process and infrastructure. Mr. Nelson also noted that the meeting's discussion largely focused on saltwater intrusion. The committee expressed the need to develop a legislative strategy to help the utility proactively navigate future legislative sessions and the filing of bills that affect SWBNO. Mr. Heyman agreed and confirmed that the development of such a strategy is in process. Second presentation was around Act 384, Section 2 of the 2024 regular session, transfer of SWBNO employees to state civil service. Mr. Heyman provided an overview of several pieces of legislation authored by Representative Hilferty. Act 384 of the 2024 regular session states that SWBNO employees are subject to civil service exams administered by the New Orleans City Civil Service, but also requires the transfer of SWBNO employees to state civil service by August 1st, 2025. House Resolution 334 of the 2024 regular session states that the legislature will work to repeal the transfer language of Act 384 and instructs state civil service and city civil service to not follow through with the development and implementation of a transfer plan. House Bill 190 of the 2025 regular session was filed to repeal the transfer language, but failed to move through the assigned House committee. As a result, the session ended with the transfer language still included as a part of the law. Mr. Heyman shared that the State Civil Service Commission is now working to enforce implementation of the transfer plans. The committee engaged in a robust discussion about the legislative history and process that led to the current situation Issues that would need to be considered with a transfer to the state civil service system, such as a $1 million direct cost to SWIBNO, and the possibility of revisiting some of the workforce options analyzed in the people plan. The committee advised that a discussion of Act 384 and related legislation should take place at the next full board meeting and asked for an accompanying resolution that reflects the board's position on House Bill 190 and its failure to be adopted during the 2025 session. The committee also discussed that the board's position on House Bill 190 should not preclude future research or analysis on any other workforce-related issues. The committee shared the importance of sending a unified message and having a unified front. There was public comment. Mr. Mubashir Makbul, a SWIBNO employee, shared comments on the legislation, past efforts by the legislature to implement changes at the utility, and an upcoming constitutional amendment relative to state civil service employees. We then entered into executive session, exited executive session. No further business before the Governance Committee after that. Therefore, Director Howard moved to adjourn, Director Thomas seconded, and we adjourned approximately 12:14 p.m.
Very good. Well, healthy meeting, sounds like, and a lot of discussion. And I did want to just revisit and thank Director Scruggs and Thomas for your participation on the pension committee, because as you showed up, of course, this particular committee, it all goes together, but it does demonstrate just your commitment to stepping in here and really wanting to provide that leadership. Appreciate that. So at this time, we're going to ask Ms. Yolanda for a motion to approve the governance committee report. So yes, motion to approve, I need.
So move.
Okay, it's been moved by Director Scruggs,
Second.
seconded by Director Thomas. Any questions? None, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, we've officially adopted that governance committee report. Ms. Yolanda?
And now we have the executive director's report.
Mr. Director,
Yes, good morning.
good morning.
First, I'll talk about the power complex and add on to some of the good news that the mayor shared at the beginning of the discussion, of the beginning of the meeting. First, this static frequency changer, the milestone was reached. A 30-day reliability test for static frequency changer began September 24th. Static frequency changer 1 provides an additional 22 megawatts of 25 hertz, utilized successfully for the rain event of October 6th. Now for number 2 and number 3, current schedule is for it to be operative by November and December. Turbine 7, operational by the end of the year. Now the very good news that I want to share and echo again that the mayor presented is that the ribbon cutting will take place on November 13th. This is a very important day for the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans. It will show us moving into a new age of reliable energy, which we believe would do great things for us as far as having a stable infrastructure. Next, a visit from the insurance commissioner. Basically, the SWIBNO leadership met with the commissioner of insurance and the chief deputy on October 1st. We discussed with them progress and improvements that we've made throughout the system, including but not limited to the power complex, acquisition of the minor drainage system as of January 1st, and the clean initiatives of the draining system. Property protection and risk management mitigation. We discussed how SWIBNO's infrastructure supports property protection, building a partnership with the Office of Insurance Commissioner to continue collaboration efforts with the goal of lowering flood and property rates. At its core, the purpose of the meeting was to educate them of the good work SWIBNO is doing and a strategic, planned commitment to improve our infrastructure. And I think we were well heard during that meeting. Overview of customer service key policy changes. Customer Service Department is actively updating existing policies and proposed several revisions regarding estimated reads. The recommended policy revision of no estimated consumption has been completed per state legislation and city ordinance. As far as bill disputes, this recommended policy revision to have all bill disputes resolved by HGI and state-appointed arbitrators has been implemented per the city ordinance. They also discussed adjustments, payment plans, account deposits, tamper policies, and hydrants. We are awaiting feedback from the board prior to finalizing our internal approval process and implementation. We will inform customers of changes by updating information on our website, utilizing broadcast message on the customer portal, and develop informational content for customer distribution. Next slide. Green infrastructure strategy. With green infrastructure strategy, the team is developing a strategy to increase GI initiatives in the city of New Orleans. Several priorities are up for consideration, including program to support tools to promote decentralized infrastructure, which would include rain check tool, DIY residential GI tool, SWIBNO coordinated GI workshop. At its core, at this point, we're trying to empower citizens so they can implement green infrastructure on their own property and receive those benefits. We also prioritize partnerships with the city agencies and community groups, local businesses, and nonprofits. We document high-level plans to incorporate GI into capital improvement projects, identify opportunities to take on multi-component GI installations such as underground water storage and large biotension ponds. Next steps is for staff to refine priorities and present to strategy committee for recommendation, and also convene an internal committee to develop ideas to support GI strategy. Next is for the improvements to the plant and our strategies for moving forward. We have the status findings. Plan completed was the fourth quarter, 2025. Operational and risk-based analysis of system and alternatives. Identified key short, medium, and long-term project initiatives. We had a lab study of pipe loops, which will investigate the effects of saltwater intrusion and means of mitigation. We also are developing short, medium, and long-term initiatives. Short-term, begin operational pilot projects, zinc orthophosphate, ACH, liquid lime, all to support mitigation efforts for saltwater intrusion. Midterm, we look at valve, control, filter media replacement, and intake pump replacements are necessary upgrades to support efficiency. And then long-term, we look for Carrollton water plant replacement upgrades. Thank you. That is the Executive Director's report.
Well, thank you very much. And just kind of underscoring that visit by the insurance commissioner, I mean, that's huge because, you know, our residents, as we all, in terms of flood insurance, property insurance, and having that dialogue, that collaboration, and for him to see directly, that's the benefit, you know, and the goal, hopefully, to.
I would just add, I believe we're going to see tangible results from that visit. They've already written me to compliment us for what we presented them, and then said if we had any additional information that would support our position, to present it. So we are certainly working on that and will respond.
Very good. Can't deny the work. You know, when you see it, it's just, it really comes together. So thank you for that. We don't need a motion to, do we need a motion to adopt? I don't think so. All right, thank you very much. Any questions for the director at this time? All right, hearing none, we're gonna move on. Ms. Yolanda.
So we have two presentation items, House Resolution 305 of the 2025 regular session, as well as Act 384, and that will be done by our Executive Director, Randy Heyman.
Okay, very good.
Okay, House Resolution 305, Regional Water Purification. It's introduced during the final days of 2025 regular session. It was co-authored by several members of the New Orleans delegation. It creates a task force to study the feasibility of building a water purification facility to serve Jefferson County, Plaquemine, St. Bernard, and St. Charles parishes. The task force consists of 12 members. The first meeting was held September 29, 2025. The task force must provide a report for findings and recommendations regarding operations and management of regional water purification facility by March 15, 2026. And the report must be provided to legislative delegation of each parish and the City Services Coalition. Okay.
All right, any discussion?
I guess I'm curious, it sounds like maybe there was a meeting of this task force last night.
That is true.
I would like if perhaps the board members could be notified when these meetings are going to be held. I think there hasn't been much public discussion of this task force. It's obviously critically important to the region. And if the task force isn't going to, make the public more aware of their work, at least maybe we could help in doing that.
Yes, I'll gladly do that.
Thank you.
Patient.
Randy, are you officially the representative from Surgeon Water Board?
We do not have an official, we're not on the committee for the task force, but Steve Nelson is attending every meeting.
Why is that so?
That is the way that it was, the law was written up, the resolution was written. And so it
Yes.
does not include, so 12 members, I believe, and I believe the mayor may have appointed
So
one.
there, right, that's correct. So from the city of New Orleans, there are two relative to the council as well as the mayor. Dr. Jennifer Vegno, particularly from the health department, is there, as well as Joe Threat, who is now the CAO. Now, my reasoning, I would say, for shifting to Joe at this particular time as it relates to transition as well and the level of credibility with the utility, but also with the city and at the recommendation, I would say, of the general at the state level. And so while we have a good working relationship and collaborative efforts that we're putting forth on infrastructure across the board, which includes Sewage and Water Board, it made sense. In addition to that, knowing that the utility would have leadership present at these meetings, that has to happen. Now, as we move forward, and what I'm gathering from these meetings, they're gonna learn more about the utility than they know. And oftentimes, that seems to need to happen it seems to happen more on the back end than people making decisions about this utility on the front end. So the report that they have that's asked to be completed by March of 2026. And I think that with us being present and educating, it's going to shine a lot of light on where we go collectively from here, especially the land that's owned by the parish and what the intentions are, not just for Orleans, but other neighboring parishes as well. But it's something that we have to stay focused on, especially in transition. I know that Joe Threat, in terms of CAO, of course, with a transition of leadership coming as well in terms of the mayor and council, that could shift, but wanting to make sure that it was in the right place, at least while I'm here, so I know that it is a healthy transition relative to information and collaboration on that committee.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Anything to add? Nothing? All right, we'll keep going.
Okay. I'll move on to Act 304, Civil Service.
384.
384.
I'm sorry, 384. The legislative history of this bill outlines several inconsistencies and unsuccessful acts initiated to correct them. In 2024, Representative Hilferty introduced House Bill 593 to transfer SWIBNO employees to state civil service. The bill had two parts. One, it required SWIBNO employees to pass civil service exam administered by state civil service. And number two, it required the transfer of SWIBNO employees to state civil service by August 1st, 2025. During the 2024 legislative session, the bill was amended before it became law. The act maintained that SWIBNO employees are subject to civil service exam administered by city civil service. However, the act also kept language that required the implementation of a transfer plan of SWIBNO employees to state civil service. This transfer language became law, even though it was not the intent of the legislature. Representative Hilferty filed House Resolution 334 to clarify the legislator's intentions. The resolution states that the legislature will work to repeal the transfer language. It also instructs state civil service and city civil service to not follow through with development and implementation of transfer plan. In 2025, Representative Hilferty filed House Bill 190, which was viewed as a cleanup bill to repeal the transfer language. Representative Hilferty failed to move House Bill 190 through Municipal, Parochial, and Cultural Affairs Committee. The bill saw no movement and the legislative session ended with the transfer language still included as part of the law. It is important to note that even without the cleanup bill, SWBNO is of the opinion that the transfer language cannot be implemented because current law requires SWBNO employees to pass a civil service exam governed by city civil service rules. This effectively keeps SWBNO employees under the jurisdiction of city civil service. The current statute may also be unconstitutional. In July 2025, the State Civil Service Commission publicly stated that it has a duty to carry out the law, which, in their opinion, requires the transfer of SWBNO employees to state civil service. At a subsequent meeting, the New Orleans Civil Service Commission passed a resolution opposing the transfer of SWBNO employees to state civil service. We are currently at a point where the State Civil Service Commission is enforcing the implementation of the transfer plan. I also want to note that with House Bill 190, it was to repeal the provisions requiring the State Civil Service Commission and the Civil Service Commission of the City of New Orleans to develop a plan for transfer employees of the board to the state civil service. In 2025, Representative Hilferty filed House Bill 190 again, which was viewed as a cleanup bill to repeal the transfer language, and House Bill 190 did not move out of committee during 2025 regular session.
Okay, thank you. Well, I know in governance, this was talked about in depth. I think this is another example of decisions that are made without being really educated on how it will impact this utility on the ground. That is expected to render services and improve across the board. So I know that, well, let me be quiet. Anybody else want to talk about it?
If I
Go
may,
ahead.
I'll make a statement before we go into the action items.
Okay.
At this time, I'm asking the board to support the administration's position opposing a transition of the Sewage and Water Board of New Orleans employees from the City of New Orleans civil service system to state civil service system. This request aligns with House Bill 190, a cleanup bill, which indicated the intent of the legislators to repeal the purported transfer to the state civil service system. Also, this request reflects the position of the board employees and all prior communications from the board leadership to employees regarding this matter.
And this was even before you?
Yes.
Meaning joining as our executive director. This is in alignment in terms of leadership and the continuity of that relative to this issue. And that means, and so I support your position.
Yeah, I'd like to, considering the executive director's request, I'd like to move the board to adopt a resolution opposing this transfer, consistent with House Bill 190, consistent with City Civil Services resolution from their board meeting in July of this year. I think that we should be on the record in lockstep in concert with City Civil Service and the commitment that successive executive directors have made to employees. I think this is the consistent thing that we should do at this time.
Thank you, Director Kennedy. And absolutely, I think your points are well received, but at the heart of it, I know for me, are the commitments that we made to our employees. And the greatest asset we have are those men and women who do that job. And if we lose that, then how will we get anything done? Because it doesn't happen without them. And again, it's the oversight of the people who do the job. It's hard to accept that. But anyway, we have a motion. We need a second, and then we can have discussion. Okay, we have a second now by Director Thomas, and we can go into discussion. Any questions as well?
I had a few questions. I think I'm curious, given that the state is trying to enforce the law transferring it, the state civil service. What are the legal implications of, are they going to file suit? How are they planning to try to enforce this? And if so, would that have financial implications for us in terms of defending ourselves from some kind of legal action?
At this time, they would have to file suit against the city civil service, and at this time, they are entertaining maybe a writ of mandamus against city civil service. However, that has been put on hold at this time
Why has it been put on hold?
because of the fact that we're meeting with,
Okay.
yes, there's a meeting in.
So they're sort of coming along with the process everyone else is going through at this time.
We'll see.
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
see. We
Yeah,
don't know
we'll
at this
see.
time, but we'll see.
We'll see. At this time, it's, you know, where we stand relative to the employees who run this operation, who run this utility. And also understanding that there is a lack of, meaning we need people to work for not only our utility, but there's a shortage in the nation on utility. So a pipeline is something that we're trying to work towards, but we don't have. And so cutting off this would be a problem, I believe, but let me turn it over to other directors who may have comments or for discussion period. Comments, questions? All right, hearing none, we have a motion by Director Kennedy. We have a second by Director Thomas. We have entertained discussion and questions. I will ask, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, we have officially adopted this matter. Ms. Yolanda.
And now we have our second action item, which will call for a roll call vote, and that's Resolution R-173, 2025, drainage millage rates for 2026. Gray?
Yes, thank you. Resolution 173 is our annual request to the city to collect drainage millages on our behalf for fiscal '26. There are no changes to the three millages from 2025, a total of 14.23 mills in three different taxes. Preliminary information from the assessor's office indicate the ad valorem taxes would generate a similar approximately $74 million for the major drainage system, which we've discussed is insufficient, and the reason we're doing a rate study to propose a combination of drainage taxes and stormwater fee, which is underway right now. It's scheduled to be completed in the next few weeks. So thank you for the board's vote to pass our fiscal '26 drainage millages.
Okay, very good. All right, so we need a motion to approve this resolution relative to drainage millage rates 2026.
So moved.
It's been moved by Director Anthrop. It's been seconded by Director Scruggs. Any questions, any discussion?
Is this considered a roll forward, or we're keeping them the same? So we're just, okay.
All right,
We'll have a roll call vote. Mayor Cantrell?
yay.
Director Pacho? Director Kennedy?
Yay.
Director Cole?
Yay.
Director Howard? Director Anthrop?
Yay.
Director Thomas?
Yay.
Director Scruggs?
Yay.
Councilmember King? Director Duplessis? Mayor, we have a unanimous vote.
Okay, thank you very much. That's been officially adopted. All yays, no nays. We now move to corresponding resolutions, Ms. Yolanda?
Yes, we have 8 corresponding resolutions that may be approved in global, and those are Resolutions 144, 2025, Resolution 139, 2025, Resolution 140, 2025, Resolution 141, 2025, Resolution 146, 2025, Resolution 147, 2025, Resolution 148, 2025, Resolution 150, 2025. And that completes the resolutions.
Thank you very much. Okay, we need a motion that we can take in globalization to approve the resolutions just read into the record by Ms. Yolanda. We need a motion.
So moved.
It's been moved by Director Pacho. We need a second.
Second.
Seconded by Director Anthrop. Any questions, discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed, any abstentions? Okay, hearing none, we have officially adopted all corresponding resolutions. Ms. Yolanda?
We have several information items for the board to review at its leisure. Do we have any public comments? No public comments, Mayor, and now we're ready for a motion to adjourn.
Okay, before we do, I just wanted to acknowledge, I believe it was Ms. Kinlow in the committee report earlier, but in reference to the non-support for a stormwater fee. I just want to just say, you know, the public denied a millage renewal for this utility in 1991 specific to drainage. Because that failed, it really created a real hole and a gap for this utility to respond to drainage in the city of New Orleans. Currently, we collect about 13 million. We have a $10 million, and get me straight now, but we have a $10 million obligation every year relative that goes to pay for our SEALA projects that we need, which leaves us with about $3 million for drainage. It's not enough. Climate has changed, our infrastructure is being improved, but we need more revenue for drainage. In 1991, again, the millage did not pass for renewal. At that time, that renewal in terms of going against it was supported by our business community at that time. And you just fast forward and you can see where the business community is now relative to drainage, meaning they know we need it. And they've been partners in actually making these investments happen in our city, and especially around fair share and the like. So time tells a story. And when we get it wrong, it has real implications. But we have to take action in the city of New Orleans relative to drainage and the revenues that are needed to meet our infrastructure and our people where they are. So I just had to say that, and I just appreciate the public engagement, and I thank Ms. Kinlow as well. So with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Director Kennedy, it's been seconded by Director Thomas. All in favor? Aye. Okay, meeting is adjourned, and we don't have a trustee?
Board trustee.